healthy Carson Palmer, with the exception of a little sore thumb. Cedric Benson, the former Bear top draft pick, has been running well. He's third in the NFL in rushing. Chad Ochocinco, he's looking for a big day. He'll be matched up against Charles Tillman. The offensive line is big and strong and looking to run the ball well. Jeremy Johnson is the fullback. He's 275 pounds. Off the play fake, Palmer under pressure throws, and it's complete to Chad Ochocinco at the 42-yard line. So right away, they go to their top receiver. The pickup on the play, up to the 42, pickup of 19 for the Bears on defense. We mentioned Tommy Harris out. Marcus Harrison gets the start. The linebacker, Nick Roach, is in the middle. Hunter Hillenmeyer is back. And we welcome those of you who just watched the Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the Minnesota Vikings. Welcome to Cincinnati, where we're just underway. Second play, Cedric Benson, who has been running so well, was shut down last week by Houston and dropped from first to third in the NFL in rushing. He gets up to the 48-yard line for the Bengals.
And they've got to stick with their run game and Cedric Benson in this one. I think they feel good about their matchup at the offensive line. They are so big and have a huge size advantage over the Chicago Bears up front. Only 16 rushes last week for Benson. They went to the no huddle, got away from the running game. I anticipate they'll stick with it today.
Two tight ends in for Cincinnati. Short drop, Palmer throws, up for grabs, it's incomplete. Intended for Ochocinco, and there was Charles Tillman on the coverage, and that's a key matchup. Ochocinco and Tillman today.
And you'll see these guys locked up on one another most of the day. I think Tillman will have some help from a safety over the top, but a good job of Tillman reading the eyes of the quarterback, making a break on the football, and then just going up and batting it out. Chad Johnson went up to get that one, and it was just well-timed by Tillman to get his hand in there and break it out of there.
Three wide receivers. They split the tight end Daniel Coates to the left. The Bears counter with 5 defensive backs. On 3rd and 3. Palmer with time. Wide open, Chris Henry. Down to the 34-yard line. It's a first down. 17-yard pickup on the play.
Well, Chicago showed pressure at the line of scrimmage and then bailed out. Carson Palmer did a great job of making the read, seeing the 2 deep safeties, knew he had the middle linebacker running down the middle of the field, and hit Chris Henry on the opposite of the way the backer was turned on a deep in route. Good play.
Again, 3 wide receivers. Andre Caldwell in as the third. Benson gets outside. Good run down the sideline. He's shoved out of bounds by Danielle Manning at the 6-yard line. Oh, good run by Cedric Benson.
Well, they're going to have an overload here. Really an unbalanced line. Whitworth to the left of your screen is the extra offensive tackle, and he does just enough on Adewale Ogunleye. And you can see Benson has got some heat now. He's got some speed for what people consider a power back. He saw the edge and was able to bounce around Ogunleye on the onside, on the unbalanced line.
Picked up 23 on the play. They work out of the wildcat, and it's Benson straight ahead. The line of scrimmage was the 11-yard line, not the 6th. My apologies on that original call. Lance Briggs with the stop, and something we haven't seen much of, the wildcat for Cincinnati.
Well, I would think this. Whenever Benson's back there, you're going to see an inside running game, and that's what we saw right there from Cedric Benson. I was so impressed at sitting down and talking to him on Friday. I mean, he really seems at peace with himself. Likes his new home here with the Bengals.
Jeremy Johnson in at fullback. Carson Palmer back under center. And the handoff to Benson. And that time the Bears are there, getting to the football. First hit made by Ogunleye, and then finished off by Hunter Hillenmeyer, who's playing the strong side linebacker position.
You see Hillenmeyer, he is right there on the 5-yard line behind Adewale Ogunleye. Walks outside when he sees the tight end motion over. Real good job by him, just defeating the tight end right there and Foshee and just extended that left arm out, kept his outside shoulder free, and got a nice tackle.
Mark Anderson and Israel Adonijah in at defensive tackles on this 3rd and long. They have to get to the 1-yard line for a first down. Palmer rolling and looking and throwing. Touchdown, Chris Henry. It was Chris Williams, the right tackle, that moved too soon. Jay Cutler at quarterback, completing 64% of his passes. They need better running from Matt Forte. If they're going to get it, they need the offensive line to block better. They have struggled. Forte and McKee in the backfield. 1st and 15 from the 24. Here's Forte behind McKee. And Matt Forte up to the 28-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. Check out the Bengals on defense, and they have a big change with Antoine Odom out for the remainder of the season. They need to get a pass rush. Robert Gathers and Jonathan Fanene will try to provide it. The linebackers, a couple of youngsters from USC, Ray Malalaga and Keith Rivers on the outside. Malaluga, I got it right all week, and I got it wrong today. A USC guy. Hester spilled out wide left. Cutler's passes to the tight end, Greg Olson. Short pickup. So far, short stop for the Bears.
Well, that's what the Bears are. I think if you watch them through the first 5 games of the season, and that's what Cutler said, he's a lot more 3-step drop than what he was used to in Denver, where they had 5-step drops, get it out. This is really a quick passing game.
Bears, 2 tight ends in. McKee, the fullback. Forte, he's got a first down across the 40-yard line. Matt Forte really struggled last week in Atlanta. A couple of fumbles deep in Atlanta territory, held to just 23 yards, and it really hasn't gotten going the way he did last season.
Well, a couple reasons. I think number one, I don't think he's completely healthy. I know he had an issue coming into the season and just doesn't seem to have that burst that he had last year. And I think more importantly, the offensive line in front of him. You know, frankly, they haven't gelled and opened up a lot of nice holes for Forte.
Again, it's Forte. Straight ahead, he gets across the 45-yard line. Picked up about 5 on the play. And one thing that Lovie Smith said to us in our meetings with him last night is we have to stick with the run. Keep going at it.
Well, the O-line, and you think about the O-line. Omiel at left guard is, number one, never played left guard. Number two, hasn't started a lot of games. Orlando Pace is new into the mix. Chris Williams new at right tackle. Those guys need continuity. There's been some growing pains.
Cutler checking off. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Short drop. Cutler throws, completes to Devin Hester. A first down in Bengals territory at the 48-yard line. Devin Hester with the grab. Cincinnati Bengals on the defensive line. Antoine Odom out for the season. Ruptured Achilles. Serious injury, and they've got to find ways to make it up for him. Tank Johnson, the former Bear, has been banged up. Guys playing with hurts on the defensive line for the Bengals. Forte carrying, picked up maybe a yard on the play.
That's a good job by 99, Tank Johnson. There he is. He's lined up on Frank Omiel. He just penetrates inside. Look at him push Orlando Pace a yard into the backfield. Once you push an offensive lineman into the backfield like that with penetration and you force the running back to bounce, you've done your job. Nice play there by Tank Johnson, the former Bear.
Rasheed Davis in wide receiver. He and Johnny Knox to the right side. On 2nd and 10, throw the screen pass to Forte, and he's stopped immediately. Donnie Jones, the middle linebacker, closed quickly. Good play by Jones, the 10-year veteran out of Michigan, who played with the Giants in Philadelphia before coming to Cincinnati. And that is Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator. Loss of 4 on the play. Bears have to get to the Bengals 38 for a first down. Johnny Knox in as a third wide receiver. Cutler gets protection. Swings it out to Greg Olsen. Olsen runs into Leon Hall at the 45-yard line. It's short of a first down. Thank you, Laura. Tackle eligible on the right side for the Bengals. Benson slipping the tackle by Briggs. Good run by Cedric Benson up to the 38-yard line. He looks like a man on a mission right now.
Well, this is a running formation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 defenders. You got 7 blockers and no free player to tackle Ced Benson. And he sees that it's clogged up on the inside. Makes a cut out to the right. And again, I think a good example of what kind of speed he possesses for a big, powerful back.
Anthony Collins has moved to right tackle in place of Dennis Rowland for Cincinnati. 3 men in the backfield. The handoff to Benson. Running with power. It takes 5 Bears to stand them up. He refused to go down. Strong run by Cedric Benson.
And once again, you got to look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 blockers once again. And here's the 8th guy right here. And Daniel Manning, he doesn't get up into the box. Al Afaleva comes up late. They will have trouble defending that run game, outnumbered in the box against that huge offensive line. They got to roll that safety, Sam, up into the box.
You see the numbers on Cedric Benson. They haven't done it yet. The Bears were talking about it with us, but they play a lot of 8 in the box. Rolling is Carson Palmer and completes it to Chad Ochocinco. He's out of bounds at the 49. He's got a first down. We've got an update for you coming your way. Atlanta, Dallas. Here's Kurt Menefee.
And here's how you start Atlanta's Matt Ryan hooking up with Roddy White. 4 yards on the score. Capped off a 16-play, 80-yard game-opening drive. Atlanta up 7-0 after 1 possession. Sam, Tim, and Laura.
Thanks very much, Kurt. Atlanta 4-1. After beating the Bears last week. Bengals from the 49. Off the play fake. Palmer throws. Ochocinco with his 3rd catch of the game. He has caught passes in 112 consecutive games.
And we're seeing a lot of cover 2 from Chicago on defense. We've already seen how they've attacked it. Here you get right behind the linebackers in front of the safety. Same thing here with Chris Henry. You see right in the hole behind the linebacker in front of the safety. And then we just saw it again on the last play. And he just gets right in the seam. But again, that's the hot spot and where you hit that cover 2 coverage with the 2 deep safeties.
Bernard Scott is in, the rookie out of Abilene Christian at running back. Going outside, slipping a tackle. Good run by Scott. He was the top player in Division II college football last season at Abilene Christian.
It's about really inserting that safety up into the running box.
Bengals at the Bears' 21-yard line. In motion, J.P. Foxy, the tight end. Benson, big hole. Inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line. He picked up 9 on the play. 7 carries, 66 yards already for Cedric Benson.
And watch the left guard in the center right there. And they are just going to move the slanting defensive tackle right out of the picture.
Kevin Payne has come in as a 5th defensive back. He's usually in there in running situations. This is a 2nd and 2 for the Bengals as they motion Andre Caldwell. 3 wide receivers in. It's Benson. Inside the 10, he's got a first down at the 8-yard line. Israel Adonijah made the tackle, but the offensive line opening up big holes.
Well, and they are so worried about the pass game and the threat of the wide receivers and the quarterbacks. Looky here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only a 6-man box. Everybody, you look at, you see a helmet on a helmet, and when Cedric Benson can get to the line of scrimmage downhill without getting touched, he's going to have a big day.
Benson and Johnson in the backfield. Jeremy Johnson, the big fullback. Lavernius Cole is in motion. Palmer, pump fake, thrown to the corner, touchdown, but there's a flag on the play. We'll check it out. Chad Ochocinco made the catch in the end zone. 5 catches. Bengals third possession, 2 8-play touchdown drives on their first 2. One a 77-yard drive and one an 80-yard drive. Palmer, Cedric Benson, nothing there. Good job by the Bears up front. Anthony Adams leading the way with help from Al Afalava.
Well, they've got Al Afalava up in the combat zone now, up in the box. There he is. You got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys to defend 7 blockers, which means you got a free defender on the running back.
And Kevin Payne comes in as a 5th defensive back for the Bears. Andre Caldwell in as the 3rd wide receiver. 2nd and 10 for the Bengals. Palmer working out of the shotgun. Palmer with time. He's throwing deep and completes to Lavernius Coles. Beautiful catch by Lavernius Coles as he beats Zach Bowman on the play. Down at the Bears 35-yard line.
Yeah, there he is. He's going to run right by him. You've got Zach Bowman playing in a trail position. Mistimes his jump, and the safety Al Afalava late getting over the top to help him out.
Pick up 29 on the play. They spotted at the Bears 34. Again, 3 wide receivers. Cedric Benson was tripped up. That's a good defensive play by Alex Brown, who's back in there, was shaken up earlier, but Brown, being blocked, was able to fight off the block and get a hand on Benson and trip him up. Benson falls forward to the 31-yard line. And one thing about Cedric that he talked about in his running, that he's getting yardage after contact, 3-4 yards after contact.
What did Tillman say? His arms are bigger, his legs are bigger. He said the guy's a beast. What happened?
Well, he's grown up.
That's it right there, Sam. You said it.
He's come looking for a job in Cincinnati, and he's found one. Palmer rolling, looking downfield, and completes to Ochocinco. Out of bounds at the Bears' 16-yard line. 5th catch of the game for Chad Ochocinco.
It is hard to stop this. Carson Palmer is going to roll out to his right. Lance Briggs does a good job of hunting up Chad Ochocinco and finding coverage, but the throw is just too perfect. A great throw will beat good coverage every time. A little gift.
He's very considerate.
He is very generous, isn't he?
He is. Pick up a 14 on the play, and again the Bengals are on the move. Short drop, Palmer throws and completes it to Ochocinco down to the 3-yard line. He was one-on-one with Charles Tillman, and right now Ochocinco and Benson and Palmer are totally outplaying the Bears.
Yeah, you know, as bad as the coverage has been, and this is another example of playing off coverage, and Chad Ochocinco is going to slide behind the backer and in front of the corner, but they're not getting any pass rush. I mean, you are not, if you do not disrupt Carson Palmer in the passing game with rush, with that wide receiver core, you don't have a chance.
2 tight ends in. 1st and goal at the 3. The pass batted down. Palmer didn't loft that at all and threw it into a bunch of arms, and it was knocked down. Palmer 9 for 11 for 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. What a start.
Yeah, they're averaging next to 10 yards a play, and the other team, the Bears, are at about 2. Look at the red zone numbers, and that just says it all, how difficult it is for the quarterback when everything down here is reduced in terms of the end line with the field much smaller.
Tight end coach shifts. The play fake. Palmer looking to throw. Wide open. J.P. Fauci. First NFL touchdown for the tight end J.P. Fauci. 3 wide receivers with Johnny Knox. Crowd gets loud, and Cutler pointing out where the linebackers are. Here comes the blitz. Cutler throws and completes it to Earl Bennett. at the first down line. He looks like they'll give him enough for the first down. That was a big throw by Jay Cutler. The Bears needed some continuity on offense.
Well, he got some protection. Cincinnati had some pressure dialed up. They were sending guys, linebackers up the middle. Cutler got some time, was able to find Johnny Knox one-on-one with Morgan Trent.
And now the Bears go no huddle as they get up to the 37-yard line. Wolf stays in, and the handoff to Garrett Wolf. And he's thrown back after a short pickup. They'll give him forward progress to the 39-yard line.
Watch Olin Kreutz, the center, right there in the middle. He's pretty good at this. Just some head movement, some body movement. And watch right when he lifts his head, it's the silent count. See, that's when defensive linemen's cue, as soon as that center and working on the silent count, they look through their legs. As soon as they lift the head up, more times than not, is when that ball is going to be snapped. That's what the D linemen are playing.
2nd and 3 for the Bears. They stay with 3 wide receivers. Desmond Clark, the tight end. Bengals show blitz. They drop back in coverage. Cutler throws, completes to Devin Hester. Inside the ball part loose. Bengals have it. Hester thinks he was down as he got to the 38-yard line. And the Bengals have the ball at the 34. Cedric Benson. Not much there. Gets up to the 35-yard line. Picks up a yard on the play. Bengals with a great start to the game, led by Cedric Benson's running, 11 carries, 75 yards. The passing of Carson Palmer, who's 10 for 12 for 135 yards and 3 touchdowns.
We talked about the young guys needing to step up for Chicago today. And Marcus Harrison, Mark Anderson, Tank Jamie, all those guys, Gaines Adams, they've all got to step up.
It's Benson again. Gets up to the 39-yard line. Cedric Benson was the 4th player drafted overall in 2005, coming out of the University of Texas. He was a contract holdout, came late to the Bears, and then seemed to be a loner for the most part. And when he got a chance to play, he didn't play well. Things continue to go badly. There was off-the-field problems, and finally, the Bears waived him in 2008. And after being out of football for 4 months, he signed on in late September of last year with the Bengals, a new lease on life for him. And he's played very well for Cincinnati. Palmer with time, throws short to the fullback, Jeremy Johnson, first down at the 46-yard line. Little safety valve pass turns into a nice first down for the Bengals.
Well, Carson Palmer is flawless, and what he's doing is he's just reading the defense, and he's going to take what they give him. We've seen him hit the cover 2 already a few times, and where those holes are against that coverage. And that time he read the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker, bailing out in coverage, and just replaced him right in the hole with the fullback for a first down.
Strong offensive showing by the Bengals thus far. That was their 15th first down. Here's Benson. There was a big hole. He started to burst, and then Lance Briggs grabbed hold. That was a big tackle by Lance Briggs. If he gets by Briggs, that could be a long game.
Well, and let me tell you what Chicago's doing. When you have trouble stopping the run, you've got to slant the front. Watch the defensive end and the defensive tackle both crash down inside. Then Briggs is going to scrape over the top and sit right in the hole there for Cedric Benson. But really, in effect, when you're having to move and slant your front, as a coordinator, you don't feel real good about your ability to man up and stop the run at the point of attack.
2nd and 7, Palmer throwing wide open, Chad Ochocinco down to the Bears' 40-yard line. Another first down for the Bengals. Chad Ochocinco, 7 catches in the game for 88 yards.
Inside's going to run it out here. Cinco's just going to run a curl. Man coverage, they've got to give him a cushion. They're afraid of him beating him. So you saw Daniel Manning go out with Caldwell to the flat, and Chad Ochocinco reads the off coverage, runs a nice curl for another first down.
And the Bears were coming with pressure, and Cedric Benson was the man who picked it up with a good block. Palmer checking off at the line. Benson stopped in the backfield, falls forward to the line of scrimmage. No score, no gain on the play. Anthony Adams with the tackle for the Bears.
You're talking about Cedric Benson and talking to Cedric Benson on Friday. Number one, the guy seems unbelievably comfortable in his own skin now. And he said he needed to grow up, basically. And, you know, guys don't have it all figured out when they're 21 or 22 years old. And he's come here, and it was about week 12 last year when that run game and that O-line gelled up and sparked up, and they haven't let up since.
On 2nd and 10. Again, Carson Palmer checking off. It's Benson. And a good tackle by Lance Briggs. Briggs stepping up with a couple of tackles on Cedric Benson. Let's go to the sideline to Laura Oakwood. Laura.
Well, I want to continue what Tim was talking about. I know we were all impressed with Cedric, and he even said it. Just the light came on. He said he has such a new approach to football, to life. He said he doesn't just set goals professionally now. They're personal, like how I carry myself on and off the field and how I stay out of negative situations. I loved his answer, guys, to when we asked him, would he do anything differently in Chicago? He said, no, because I wouldn't be where or who I am today.
Thank you, Laura. Palmer on 3rd and 10. Throws and completes it again. A first down at the Bears' 25-yard line to Chad Ochocinco. His 8th catch of the game. And he's over 100 yards here in the first half.
And they are just killing that zone, that cover 2 zone. You got 5 under, only 2 deep. He's going to get in again, right behind the backers and in front of the safeties. It's redundant. But if they're going to give it to him, if Chicago's going to give it to him, Carson Palmer is, I mean, that's just too easy for him. That's pitch and catch. When he comes up and he sees those 2 deep safeties, that's easy pickings.
Hadn't had a 100-yard receiving game since the end of the 2007 season. Now has had back-to-back. Flag on the play. Benson running strong. And he's down to the 11-yard line. We'll check out the flag. Another good run by Cedric Benson. And right now, the Bears don't have an answer for the Bengals offense.
There is no foul for illegal formation. 74 had reported as an eligible receiver. It's first down.
Talking about the size mismatch. Look at the double team by these guys on 93 Adewale Agunlea. They're just going to drive him. That's what you call movement at the point of attack. They get that movement, they knock him backwards, which knocks him into the linebackers, and then the guys can't flow over the top to their gap of responsibility.
Benson, 16 carries, 96 yards. First down at the Bears' 11. It's Benson. Slips a tackle and is upended by Kevin Payne. Gets forward progress to the 8-yard line. Cedric Benson finding the holes and really carrying the run game here. Good blocking up front. Have to give credit to the offensive line. They've done a great job.
No, they've done a great job. You go back to week 15 of last year, and they haven't let up. And all they did was by design with the no huddle. They got away from the run game against Houston. When they're committed to it, they're really good at it.
On 2nd and 7, it's Benson. No hole that time, and again, Lance Briggs leading the way along with Marcus Harrison in stopping Cedric Benson.
A heck of a job by Nick Roach that time, the middle linebacker who's been out there for Brian Urlacher. And that was the isolation play where they send the fullback. Jeremy Johnson's 275 pounds. They send him up into the hole first, head up on that linebacker, see if they can get some movement on it, and Roach stuffed Jeremy Johnson. That time the run went nowhere. And it's happened so far, and he told us Friday, is Benson absolutely has to rip it out at the mesh point. No problem so far.
3rd and 7 at the 8-yard line. 12th play of the drive for the Bengals. Everybody out. Outside of Lavernius Coles. He's in. Touchdown. Bears start from the 19. Johnny Knox in as the 3rd wide receiver. Everybody out. Cutler throws to Knox, and he's out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Let's check out what's happening in Dallas. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Atlanta has turned it over on 3 consecutive possessions. The last one, the Matt Ryan fumble, set up this Tony Romo to Miles Austin 59-yard score. And the Cowboys are out in front in the second quarter, 10-7. Sam, Tim, and Laura.
Thanks, Kurt. Cowboys in action today. Giants in action at home against Arizona tonight.
Finally starting to cause some turnovers, the Dallas defense.
Yeah. Cutler throwing. It's batted up in the air. Intercepted by Leon Hall. Hall on the return. Inside the 20, and Knox takes him down at the 16-yard line. The pass intended for Earl Bennett and Leon Hall.
Good field.
3 wide receivers for the Bears on 3rd down. Cutler being pressured, steps up, throws to Hester, and he's got it. A first down at the 46-yard line. Good job by Hester coming back. He's starting to fill out his game as a wide receiver. Still learning the position, but getting better as a complete wide receiver.
Well, really, this is only his 2nd year as a full-time receiver, so it's definitely been a work in progress, and I think you can see illustrations of that right here. Here's the go pattern from week 1 against Green Bay. Charles Woodson's all over him right there. Here's the comeback also against the Packers. Here's the slant route. And he's starting to learn how to run all the routes. Here's the cover 2 hole that we've been talking about all day as you try to get it behind the corner and in front of the safety. Crossing route, runs into his own guy. And then here's just a few moments ago, as he's going to drive the defender off and then come back to the football. That was a good route.
On first down, Cutler gets time and finds Devin Hester again. Down to the Bengals' 36-yard line. Bears have 1 timeout remaining. Earl Bennett shifts. 3 wide receivers for the Bears. Matt Forte in the backfield. Everybody out. Cutler throws for Bennett. Great catch by Earl Bennett. Thrown a little behind him. Great adjustment by Bennett, and he holds on as he gets down to the 15-yard line. 26-yard pickup. And the Bears use their final timeout with 9 seconds remaining.
Remember what I said earlier, that great coverage or a great throw will beat good coverage. Morgan Trent's in good coverage. But that throw, the placement on it is absolutely perfect. And then the receiver, Earl Bennett, to go up out of frame, contort his body in midair and go back and get that. Good execution from the quarterback and the wide receiver.
3 wide receivers. Greg Olsen, the tight end. Olsen didn't play much in the first half. Everybody out. Cutler looking for Olsen, and he's got him. And Olsen is taken down right at the first down line. The spot is going to be very important here. Urging on the defense. 4th and a foot.
Quarterback sneak.
And the dive by Cutler. And he holds on to the football and gets enough for the first down.
Good job by Cutler going over the top. What defensive linemen try to do, Sam, in those short yardages, they try to root hog, which torpedoed down under the lineman. Cutler saw it the way they were lined up, really with their face mask almost down on the turf in the stance. And very smart, takes it over the top rather than trying to power his way through him down low.
First down at the 38. Bengals have 5 defensive backs in. Morgan Trent, is the 5th defensive back. Cutler was hit as he released. Hard hit once again. It was Frosty Rucker in there.
He's really playing good. And watch what he does to Frank Omiel. He's just going to go right by him to the outside of his shoulder. He fakes inside. Little head fake inside, and then a swim move to the outside. Is able to slap down the hand of Omiel and get a nice hit on Cutler. And more importantly, force Jay Cutler to get rid of the ball before he had any open receivers down the field.
Cutler works out of the shotgun. Bears stay with 3 wide receivers. Everybody out. Cutler throws for Hester. Makes the grab. Goes out of bounds in Bengals territory at the 45-yard line. 27-yard pickup. Hurry up offense for the Bears. They go no huddle. Hester has 5 catches, 71 yards in the game. Also had a fumble. Bears have to get to the Bengals 35-yard line for a first down. Cutler steps up. Short pass to Hester. Up to the 44-yard line. Gain of 5. Brandon Johnson covering on the play. And now the Bengals are starting to hit Jay Cutler.
Well, what bothers you if you're a Chicago Bears fan is they're doing it with a 4-man rush. Chicago's keeping 5, sometimes 6 guys in to block 4, and they can't do it. They're getting chewed up at the line of scrimmage up front.
3rd and 21. Still 3 wide receivers and Matt Forte. Everybody out. Cutler steps up, throws, and completes it to Johnny Knox. He belly back. He's brought down at the 40-yard line. He's 5 yards short of the first down. A pickup of 16, and there's no doubt the Bears will go for this again. And they're going with a no-huddle offense. Cutler walking from side to side and up to the line to call the play, letting everybody know. Pat Sims in on the defensive line for Cincinnati. 4th and 5.
Comes some pressure.
Cutler steps back, throws for Earl Bennett, and it's intercepted. Leon Hall with another pick, and he's got the return. Picks up a couple of blocks, and Hall is ridden out of bounds by Olin Kreutz at the 39-yard line.
He took sacks. Now, part of it was a very good O-line and #1 receiver in Brandon Marshall, but not the case here in Chicago.
Deep drop by Palmer. He goes short to the fullback. Jeremy Johnson, 275 pounds of power. The guy who was released by the Bengals came back to them and is doing a good job, and he's got a first down at the 49-yard line. A pickup of 10 on the play.
And they use him a lot of different ways. You saw there, but they'll also use him on 3rd down as a pass protector, which is not real typical when you talk about fullbacks in this league to be the 3rd down guy, but he's been able to function in that role.
Take it back. He's short about a foot on the spot, so it's 2nd and less than a yard. And it's Cedric Benson. He's got the first down as he powers into Bears territory. Carson Palmer, 16 of 18 in today's game.
And he's on fire. Look how accurate that is. Right in stride, right on the run, same thing. Don't have to stop for a second. The accuracy, the release, everything is outstanding. Look at all those. I mean, they're all perfect throws. You know how he learned how to throw so good?
Yeah.
We asked him, he said when he grew up, he threw everything, whether it was balls, water balloons. He said after school every day, he would go by the lake, he'd skip rocks for hours.
He said he wasn't sure if that built up his accuracy, but it certainly built up his arm strength. Quick outside, and a short pickup on the play.
Either way, Sam, he always had a desire to throw. I think that's the important thing, and he is playing good today.
Another catch by Chad Ochocinco. 9 catches, 105 yards in the game.
Carson is 17 for 19 throwing right now with 4 touchdowns.
Not a bad day. He still has plenty of time to add to that. Andre Caldwell in motion, 3 wide receivers for the Bengals. From the Bears, 45-yard line.
He's going to take a shot.
Benson, good hold, stayed on his feet. There was contact. He kept his balance. He's got a first down close to the 35-yard line. A 10-yard pickup for Cedric Benson.
Well, you got to be happy for him with the performance he's laid out on this field today.
His 3rd 100-yard rushing game of the season. The 8th of his career, 6 of them with the Bengals. Had 2 with the Bears. 2 tight ends in.
Hey, white time, bro.
Benson waiting for a hole to open up and uses the strength. The ball popped loose. I think he was down.
I think Hillenmeyer pulled it out before he was down.
Bears say they have it.
Yeah, I think Hunter Hillenmeyer pulled that out from Cedric Benson in traffic.
There's a big pile. You saw Hillenmeyer come out with the ball.
I believe he's about a week away from getting on the field.
Anthony Collins replaces Roland at right tackle. Palmer fakes right, goes left on the screen to Bernard Scott. And the rookie out of Abilene Christian makes his way inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. There's a flag on the play. There are 3 players out of Abilene Christian, a Division II school, playing in today's game. Johnny Knox of the Bears, Danielle Manning of the Bears, and Bernard Scott of the Bengals.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 44, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Kevin Payne, 14-yard run, 15-yard penalty.
Here's Payne here, 44. Chad Ochocinco is blocking him. He just turns around and swipes him with a right hand. Little right hook to the helmet. I think that's what they called Kevin Payne for.
Little frustration sets in. Bengals on the move again. First down at the Bears 14. Benson turning a corner, gets a couple of yards, hit hard by Lance Briggs. The Bears defense is trying to make up for the loss of a couple of key players. Brian Urlacher went out the first game of the season, and Alpisa Tinoe Samoa, a good linebacker, brought in, but he got hurt early, came back, and then got hurt again last week, and he's done for the season.
Well, trying to replace those guys, as well as trying to replace Tommy Harris today. Right. Remember, Dusty Dvorak lost at the beginning of the season. They're playing with a lot of guys that were backups last year.
Out of the shotgun. On 2nd and 9, Palmer lofts it to the corner for Henry. Knocked away. Good coverage by Zach Bowman that time. 4 different touchdown receivers in the game for the Bengals in this game. Henry was one of them.
They have been so good down in the red zone today. You look at red zone efficiency around the National Football League year after year, and if you're above 50% putting it in the end zone in terms of TD percentage, you're loving it. You're one of the best teams, one of the better teams in the league, at least above average. Not the story today. Cincinnati has hit it at about 80% TD percentage down in the money zone.
Palmer gets the blitz, throws, touchdown! Chad Ochocinco, his second of the game, and here comes the Samba.
I think Texas may be the best team in the country right now.
Pretty good call on your part. Matt Forte carrying for a couple of yards. Let's check out what's happening. New Orleans at Miami. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Saints scored with 5 seconds left in the first half. They start the second half scoring again. Off the hands of Ted Ginn and into the hands of Darren Sharper. His 11th career return for a touchdown. One shy of the all-time mark by Rod Woodson. It's a 24-17 game in the third. Sam?
Thanks, Kurt. Cutler's pass to Earl Bennett, a first down and a little extra as he gets into Bengals territory. Down to the 48-yard line, a pickup of 14 on the play. Bears going hurry-up offense, no huddle.
I was surprised to hear Ron Turner and the offensive guys talk about Earl Bennett as their most reliable wide receiver. Remember, he's only a second-year player, first year as a starter.
Cutler throwing short to Greg Olsen. They wanted to get Greg Olsen more involved this week. They haven't really. And Olsen, maybe it's the Bengals defense. Maybe their defense has worked to take him out of the game.
I think most teams have done that. Look, Greg Olsen, this offense, I would think, is featured around him as the biggest mismatch. And he has seen a lot more double coverage, a lot more bracket coverage. And coming into the game today, only had 15 catches.
On 2nd and 8. Cutler gets time. The pass intercepted. Third interception of the game. Chris Crocker is knocked out of bounds. 4 turnovers by the Bears. 3 interceptions thrown by Jay Cutler. Crocker. And the Bengals from the 47. As the misery mounts for the Bears, they come with a blitz. Cedric Benson, big hole. Gets into Bears territory and is brought down at the 47-yard line by Marcus Harrison. Chad Ochocinco has had a huge game, over 100 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Cedric Benson with a 100-yard game rushing. Anthony Collins back in as an eligible receiver at the end of the line on the right side. Palmer checking off on 2nd and 5. Bears come with a blitz. Palmer to the side for Lavernius Coles, off his hands. Only the 4th interception thrown by Carson Palmer in the game. Down to the field to Laura Oakman. Laura.
Sam, Chad Ochocinco called today a 3-buckle day. He has one helmet that has 3 buckles on it to make sure it doesn't come off. He told me he only wears it against 2 teams, the Ravens and the Steelers, but added Chicago to the list today. He said, I don't care what the rankings and the stats say. The Bears defense is one of the most physical in the game. They'll try to knock your helmet off. I don't know, from this vantage point, guys, I haven't seen that helmet move today.
Yeah. Thanks, Laura. I meant to say 4 incompletions thrown by Carson Palmer in the game. Here he throws and completes to Andre Caldwell. That's a 1st down at the Bears' 36-yard line. Daniel Manning covering. Palmer just rifling that pass perfectly.
Sam, he is lethal. Look at the accuracy and the precision on this throw. I remember when he was at USC, when he came out, we called him the human jugs machine. You know, the jugs machine is the machine that spins the balls out. He is so precise. It's a tight spiral, the velocity. Boy, he's on his game.
2 tight ends in, Daniel Coates and J.P. Fauci. 3-man backfield, Benson running it. Gets down to the 34-yard line. Daniel Manning with the tackle. Great numbers for Carson Palmer. 5 touchdown passes. His career high is 6. And everything has gone right for the Bengals this afternoon. 3 wide receivers. Palmer gets time, throwing deep, flag on the play. Tillman was covering Ochocinco, and it looks like holding on Tillman.
Yeah, they're going to get Tillman for a defensive hold on Chad Ochocinco.
Anthony Collins goes to the right side as a tackle. Benson gets for the hole, headed for the house, and he is down at the 1-yard line. Daniel Manning took him down. 26-yard run for Cedric Benson.
Well, this is what you call a downhill runner. Some good blocks by everybody up front. They get Anthony Adams washed down.
And they are knocking on the door after Cedric Benson's 26-yard run.
Uh-oh, you got Pecco at fullback.
It's Benson. Touchdown. The League Championship Series, the Yankees and the Angels in New York. Cutler 21 for 30, 201 yards, 3 interceptions. On the carry, Matt Forte, and he gets up to midfield. And Forte, they took him right out of the game. When the Bengals got up 14-0, the Bears went to the passing game, went away from the run game, and he's never had a chance to get going.
Well, I believe he's had 6 carries in this game, and you've got Garrett Wolf with 1. So you're talking 7 rushing attempts through over 3/4 of football.
3 wide receivers for the Bears, whose only points came at the end of the first half. And the field goal by Robbie Gould. Cutler, nobody open. Being rushed, throws it into the ground in the vicinity of Matt Forte. Robert gathers with pressure on Jay Cutler.
They've been pressuring his face all day long. Bad snaps that he hasn't been able to hold on to. It was the inability to hold on to him were actually worse than the snaps. But a lot of it 4-man rush. And up front, they've been able to get there and get pressure on Cutler with only sending 4 guys.
Only 1 sack, but all the pressure we saw there forced him into interceptions as well. And he's been hit and knocked down. 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Cutler has time. Short to Desmond Clark. Park trying to fight his way forward, but is ridden out of bounds by Leon Hall, who's played a strong game at cornerback for the Bengals. Bengals had won 4 in a row before losing at home last week to Houston. And they're 1-2 on their home field, 3-0 on the road, and they are 3-0 in their division. So it's been a good start to the season for the Bengals.
Yeah, that win over Baltimore and Pittsburgh already with 2 big feathers in their cap.
There's 3rd and 2. Forte resets. Cutler throws to Johnny Knox, a first down at the Bengals 31-yard line. Johnny Knox, who was an outstanding receiver at Abilene Christian and won a job as a special teamer in preseason. His kickoff returns and his speed helped win him a job, and now he's developed into the number 3 receiver on his team.
He's got a very bright future coming into this game. He was a big target on 3rd down, and he's just going to get better. I think the more he develops an NFL body, spends some time in the weight room and gets stronger, his game will ascend.
Everybody out. Cutler to Matt Forte. Slips a tackle. Good moves by Forte, out of bounds inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. Forte, an excellent receiver out of the backfield. That's a pickup of 19 on the play. The Bears had hoped to take advantage of the Vikings losing earlier in the day in Pittsburgh. Vikings' first loss. Cutler for Knox, and the ball comes loose. It's ruled incomplete. Never had it. No possession. Leon Hall with another good play for the Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals have come up with some strong games individually. Frosty Tucker has provided some pressure, and the only sack of the game. Leon Hall, I think, has had an outstanding game at cornerback, and Dahani Jones, the man in the middle of the linebacker core, has played well.
He sure has. I'll tell you another guy. Don't forget about Chris Crocker. He's played a whale of a game at safety.
Yes. Cutler with time, throwing underneath to Devin Hester, and Hester out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play.
I'm surprised they haven't had Greg Olsen in for the last couple of plays. Just being the big red zone threat, but it's still, I mean, he is a red zone threat and a red zone matchup problem at 6'5".
They've gone with 3 wide receiver set, and Desmond Clark has gotten most of the play at tight end. There's 3rd and 3. Everybody out. Cutler throws. Devin Hester, touchdown. First touchdown of the game for the Chicago Bears. It comes with 11:48 to go in the game.
And that was a veteran receiver move right there. What he just did to that defender was ridiculous. He put a jerk move on him and just shook him down. The defender.
Cedric Benson still in there. Benson on the carry. There's a good hole. Turns it into a big run and powers his way into Charles Tillman at the 40-yard line. They may be looking to get him a career high. That's 14 yards and 167 now for Benson.
Great job by the offensive line. Again, that time it was Anthony Collins doing a good job holding his block. They went with that unbalanced line again with the tackle over. And it's real simple to me. I mean, Chicago has just had issues at the line of scrimmage, Sam, just getting beat up. I mean, physically, they have been outmatched today by this Cincinnati offensive line.
Cedric Benson needs 5 yards for a career high. And he's got it. And we'll get an update on what happened in Pittsburgh today. Minnesota at Pittsburgh. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Yeah, the Steelers got 2 defensive touchdowns in the fourth quarter. This, a Brett Kiesel strip of Brett Favre. Scooped up by Lamar Woodley. He takes it 77 yards for the score. Steelers get the win. Their 4th straight knocks the Vikings to the ranks of the unbeaten 27-17. Next week, Brett Favre back at Lambeau for the first time, only on Fox.
Oh, that'll be something. Thanks, Kurt. Cedric Benson, a career-high 172 yards rushing, has come to the sideline. Bernard Scott, the rookie out of Abilene Christian, in, and he carries and is dragged down by Alafalava at the 49-yard line. Great game for Cedric Benson. 1 touchdown run, that was a 1-yarder, but a big day. 31 carries, averaging 5.5 yards per carry.
And you know what, he had some outstanding things to say about Lovie Smith. He really did in talking to him, and I know the Chicago media and some of the comments out of Cedric Benson in the last week or so, but he said without Lovie Smith, number 1, he wouldn't have been the number 4 pick in Chicago. And probably just as importantly, he wouldn't be here in Cincinnati. He said Lovie gave him a tremendous recommendation, and even Marvin Lewis said it. Without Lovie's recommendation, Cedric Benson's not on this football.
Marvin Lewis called Lovie Smith, and Lovie Smith did recommend Cedric Benson. He needed a change of scenery. Things weren't going well for him in Chicago off the field, and they let him go.
Coach, and the same thing with Rod Marinelli. We haven't even talked about Rod Marinelli, the defensive line coach today, because his D-line really failed to make any impactful plays.
It's Benson back in the game. That surprises me. But Benson gets down to the 42. Let's check out what's happening. Saints in Miami. Here's Kurt again.
A little more competitive than your game. This is Drew Brees to Marcus Colston. Saints were down 24-3 just before half. It's now a 27-24 lead. Miami trying to hang on still in the third quarter. Sam, Jim, and Laura.
That's a wild game. Miami had the big lead early. Saints coming back. Thanks, Kurt. 2 tight ends in, and now Cedric Benson has come out of the game. Bernard Scott is back in at running back. Scott to the 40-yard line, brought down by Alafalava. Defensively, what do the Bears have to do to pull themselves together too? They've struggled in this game. Passing game for Cincinnati by Carson Palmer tore him up.
Well, Carson is an elite quarterback, and Chad Ochocinco is one of the better receivers in the league. I haven't seen coverage out of a Chicago Bear defense that bad in a long, long time. And again, I got to talk about the defensive line. And the rush and the coverage certainly work together. We always used to say pressure, pick, cover, sack. You get pressure, the DBs will get a pick. They get coverage, the D-line will get a sack. They just have not matched it up today.
Well, Sullivan off the play fake, runs for the first down. Bengals are 8 for 10 on 3rd down conversions in the game. It's Jay's uniform.
Jay may not sign it.
He wants a jersey from Jay. Caleb Haney is in at quarterback for the Bears as Jay Cutler rests. First action of the season, regular season, for Caleb Haney, who's played well the last 2 preseasons. Garrett Wolf is in at running back for the Bears as the time winds down on this one. And a huge disappointment for the Bears. Caleb Haney, in his 2nd year out of Colorado State, undrafted free agent, made the team with strong performances the last 2 preseasons. Devin Aroma-Shagu, number 19, is in at wide receiver. Outside to Desmond Clark. Gets wrapped up by Kyrus Hebert, number 34. Bears will be home for the next 2 games against Cleveland and Arizona. As Jay Cutler looks on with a huge disappointing look on his face, as the Bears fell behind early and could never get anything going.
This game got so left-handed so fast because of their inability to defend early on the ground, and then Carson Palmer through the air just capitalized quick.
Haney puts it up, was hit as he throws, up for grabs, and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted by Jonathan Joseph.
What you're seeing and all the Bears fans are seeing is evidence of why he was the number 4 overall pick.
Oh, man.
He is a special talent.
Well, he found it when he came to Cincinnati looking for a job and got one from Marvin Lewis. and has performed very, very well and now leads the NFL in rushing. Bengals defense needs credit too. They played a whale of a game. 4 turnovers, 4 takeaways.
That's right. And the sacks, you only see one there, but there was constant pressure on Jay Cutler throughout the game. And a defense that needed to respond with some injuries up front, losing their best player, Antoine Odom. They answered the bell against Chicago.
Carson Palmer is healthy, and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he showed it today with a huge game, 20 of 24, 233 yards, 5 touchdowns. Bengals beat the Bears 45-10.